The craziest thing I can think of, I mean, there's the two times that I got robbed. The first time it was kind of crazy, but the second time I kind of want to share some more detail just because it was actually kind of a life learning experience for me. But the first time we were walking the street, kind of once again in those crazy streets of Mexico, you can never find the right house. So we were going to teach someone that we contacted the other day, and I remember like there was this group of people off to the side on the left of the street. We were on the right side. They were talking about, I don't know, I had been out for like 3 months. I didn't understand everything they were saying, but I'm pretty sure they were like making fun of us because they were laughing really loud and pointing at us. And so me and my companion were like, well, we're going to keep going. We didn't find the house we were looking for, and we were trying to get to a busier street just because, like, you know, we kind of started feeling a little uneasy. And so right as we started feeling that, we were probably pretty close to the busy street, but this guy had like snuck up behind us, just like really quiet. We couldn't even hear him, and then just out of nowhere, I remember just feeling this like kind of like a rock had hit me on the back of my head. And I don't know if it was a rock or his hands. I'm pretty sure it was his hands, but that it felt like a rock. So I remember that just almost like knocked me out. And then like at that time, like if I wasn't a missionary, I would have like freaked out. But I just, you know, I felt this, it was weird because I kind of felt this like calm feeling. It's like, all right, everything's gonna be okay. Just to grab your wallet, give it to him, and run, kind of. Well, not run, but that's all I did. My companion didn't have anything. Lucky for us, the guy was drunk and he was on drugs, so I mean, he couldn't really do much, but so we pulled out the wallet, threw it at him, and luckily I only had like 11 pesos or 13 pesos, and so then we walked away. So that was kind of crazy, and after that I was pretty scared at night, and we pretty much avoided that street for the rest of my time in that area. So that was kind of scary. You'd never know if that guy had a gun on him or not, and so that was one thing that was crazy. The second time though, it was actually a little bit crazier because we were in it's my third area of Contreras in the mountain area, and I was training a brand new missionary, and he was really struggling with Spanish, just as every new missionary does, and with, you know, with the culture, being away from home and things like that. So I remember that we went to, because a member had given us money to go buy food for that day, so we go to buy food. The money that the member had given us was fake, so that was kind of frustrating, so we had to use our own money. And so then we get back to the apartment, and because we wanted to compare that fake bill to a real bill, so we're trying to find our real money, and we couldn't find any. And then my companion's like, oh, my money's all gone. So then checked, and I was like, oh wait, my money's all gone. Oh, my camera's gone. Everything's gone. So we found out that we'd been robbed. And so then we checked the window, and we see that the latch, it's broken. Like, it wasn't like a broken window, but he like cleverly, you know, broken the latch or whatever. And the other thing that we found out too is because I had my American money hidden away in my suitcase, which is under my bed inside of like an old shoe or something, but he had been able to find that. So we realized that someone had been watching us for the past, you know, however long, couple weeks, because they would have had to have known that we leave every day at 12 and come back at 9, because they had tons of time to search the house. And I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, kind of crazy everything that was going on. But I remember we like called the mission president. He's like, all right, well, I need you to check the house to see if anyone was still hiding in there. So we look inside the bathroom and just under the cupboards, and just my companion's starting to freak out because he's a new missionary. He's like, why is this happening to me? I can't handle this. Like, I need to go home, things like that. And so, I mean, first I was frustrated, then I was scared, but then I realized, no, I can't feel any of those emotions, because if I do, my companion's going to feed off of that and he's going to freak out. So I decided, all right, well, you know what, I'm going to pretend that everything's okay. And so I did that, and then it actually kind of helped me to learn in life that, you know, there's crazy things that happen, but they're going to happen whether we feel good about it or not. So it's like, I'm just going to, you know, just whatever, just kind of live life, try to comfort my companion, make sure he's okay. I don't care about my money, my pictures, my camera, that's fine. And so then it gets even crazier, because the next day we had to go meet the president to go get money, because we didn't have any money. So he gave us money, and we took a bus back, and then we get to our street and we're walking back, and then there was this guy in a taxi that had been like almost following us. Gets out of the taxi, he has this wooden bat in his hand, and he just starts like doing this slowly. He's like, I just want to talk to you guys, I just want to talk to you guys. And my companion's like, oh no, not again. So my companion starts running. So then I start running, and we run into the house. And remember, we hear this guy chasing us, and this is the day after we'd just been robbed. So then we call the mission president, and he's like, all right, so what should we do? We're like, well, we don't really want to sleep in our apartment tonight, because, you know, we don't feel comfortable. They've obviously been watching us. They know everything. So we ended up sleeping in a different apartment with other missionaries that night. But it was just kind of crazy. And I mean, the way that, like, how we lost everything. But one thing that I learned from that experience was, I mean, because at that time I could have decided to freak out and, like, curl up and cry and everything and scream and, get frustrated, but I decided not to do that, because if I did that, then my companion, who was just barely starting his mission out, would have, it would have impacted him a lot, and, who knows what would have happened. So that was one thing that I was able to learn from that experience, just, everything. And to this day I've had, like, car trouble or other things like that, and I've just been able to say, all right, well, it's going to happen, but everything's going to be okay. It was okay back then, it'll be okay now. And so it's kind of been something that actually, I mean, I don't want to say I'm grateful for it, but, kind of am, just because I learned a lot from it. And we ended up losing a lot of stuff. Me and my companion combined, and whatever was stolen, he lost his iPod and his music speakers, and then I lost all my money. Together we lost like 2,000 pesos worth of stuff. So it's about like almost $200. I mean, it's quite a lot, especially for a missionary. But so it was a pretty good learning experience, I think. Seeing like people bleeding on the street, I don't know if that counts, but I mean, you'd see people like that a lot. And then just hearing gunshots and things like that. And then I remember, I was kind of in one of my other areas, we were teaching this drunk guy, and working with drunk people, it can be kind of scary sometimes too. But I guess there was this drunk guy, and I was out for like 2 weeks, so I didn't understand anything. My companion told me about it later, but he was like apparently a sniper for like the Mexican government. Like, he had killed like hundreds of people, and so he was talking to us, and then we didn't feel very comfortable, so we were trying to leave. But I remember, like, the guy just stood up and like slammed his fist on the ground. He's like, no, you guys will not leave until I finish telling you what I have to say. I listened to you guys, now you guys are going to listen to me. And so I was just like, I was dazed off, but that's what really woke me up, because I was almost falling asleep because I just was bored, I guess. And so then luckily someone else came in and like started talking to the guy, and the guy had already shown us like his pictures of all these, all these crazy helicopters and government stuff, so we knew he wasn't lying. So this other guy came in, and then we got out. And so we were glad that other guy came in, because we didn't know if we would have been able to leave or what this guy was going to do to us. And so that was kind of scary, and that was when I was been a missionary for like 3 weeks. So it was pretty intense, kind of like what you'd picture from like seeing the Good Samaritan story. Like, you'd see people just bleeding in the street and things like that. And sometimes, half the time I wonder if they were just drunk and they just fell down because they were so drunk, maybe banged their head or something. But yeah, just crazy things like that would happen, where, every time you'd walk in the street, they'd have the newspapers on every street corner and all the headlines. It's actually kind of different, because our media, their media just shows everything. Like, there's just like people with their heads chopped and just all these bloody pictures and scary things. So